We love family. We love God. We love to work hard. We don't want nothing free. We just want an opportunity. Many times I'm told, how are you going to be a mother and a congresswoman at the same time? Well, the same way a congressman can be a congressman and a father at the same time. I'm told many times you should take care of your family and not run from. Who said I wasn't? They didn't know that Hispanics, especially men, majority of Latino men gave the vote to President Trump. They did not know that Hispanics were going to have this huge shift. They should have seen it coming from 2016, 2020. I mean, the red flags were there that we were moving slowly but surely towards the Republican Party because they were moving more towards the left. Are you willing to put God aside for your political ambitions?
And hello, Mayra. Welcome to the Delta Oaks Ranch podcast. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
How has your day been today?
It has been busy. Kids start school this week, so
Oh, that's right.
you name it, school supplies, meet the teacher, getting their schedules, but they grow up quick, so
Yeah, the whole valley is super busy right now.
embracing it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of the first questions I wanted to start off with, me personally, I would like to get to know you a little bit better as well. If you could give us a little bit of your background, where is Mayra from originally, and so forth.
Well, I was born in Burgos, Tamaulipas, Mexico, about 3 hours away from here.
Okay.
I grew up crossing back and forth, growing up. My dad, being an American, was able to file for us to come here to the United States. I was around 6 years old. My mom didn't want to come here, though. She had a hard time leaving her parents in Burgos, they still live there. My grandparents still live in Burgos. And
Is that right? How far is that
family.
from? Is that in the state of Tamaulipas or no?
This is the state of Tamaulipas, very close to San Fernando.
Okay. Yes.
You have to. I recommend going around San Fernando.
Yes,
I
I
don't
heard stories.
I don't recommend going through San Fernando.
Yeah.
I recommend going around it. So that's how you get to
Well,
Burgos.
I hear the whole frontera right now is really dangerous.
very
and
hot.
stuff.
Yes,
Yes.
it's-
Unfortunately, right?
It's unfortunately because we love visiting our family. I remember growing up just, going and spending Christmas and the holidays with my family and not being afraid.
Yeah.
And now we're afraid of visiting our loved ones.
Yeah.
And it's getting worse, unfortunately. During the Biden administration, the Mexican cartel was making billions of dollars, and they're not making the billions of dollars they were making under the Biden administration. So now they're becoming very desperate. So there's a lot of kidnapping, a lot of killing, and unfortunately. Just recently, they killed a teacher, La Maestra Irma. La Maestra Irma retired from being a teacher, started driving a taxi.
Yeah.
And because she didn't pay her monthly quota, the cartel recorded her and killed her, and asked her right before she was killed to tell all the taxi drivers what would happen to them if they didn't pay their quota. She was 62 years old. She was a mom, grandmother. No one deserves that. No one
Yeah, of
deserves
course not.
to go through that. And unfortunately, that's a reality for the people of Mexico until the president of Mexico admits that she has lost control and that she needs the help from the United States.
Do you feel some of those traditional conservative values from that community still live in you and right now? And that maybe perhaps, and this is my opinion, perhaps that's transfers into the conservative, into the Republican side.
Correct.
Not that I'm not saying that they're, completely different worlds, but I'm talking about the values, because I'm from the, Mexican ancestry as well. I'm a Mexican American. And so in my opinion, those traditional values are very similar, like,
Yeah, of
the
course.
hardworking ethic and education,
We're the most
family.
hardworking people.
Yes.
It's true. We love family. We love God. Um, we love to work hard. We don't want nothing free. We just want an opportunity, and that lives in us since day one. It's instilled in us. So yes, that's what aligns more to the Republican Party. Neither party's perfect. Don't agree with everything in the Republican Party, but it's the party that has strong foundations when it comes to faith, family, and hard work. We look after the people that work hard,
Okay.
the middle class.
Right. So going back to 6-year-old Myra. So you come and you
Yes,
migrate to South Texas, to what city?
to Rio Hondo.
To Rion, is that right?
Rio Hondo. Yes,
See?
my dad filed for us to come here. I was around 6, 7 years old when he came here, and we moved to Rio Hondo. I started school there, but I was a migrant kid, so I was 6 months out of the year in Rio Hondo. Then we went to a small town called Memphis, Texas, up in the Panhandle. Actually, we moved to Memphis first. Memphis, Texas, really close to Amarillo, and then 6 months later, we came here to Rio Hondo. Started second grade in Rio Hondo, and then in Memphis as well. And fourth grade was my last year in Rio Hondo. Then I moved to San Benito.
Okay.
San Benito. I went to Berta Cabeza middle school there in San Benito, and then graduated in 2004.
Do you feel that history behind you has built who you are right now? That work ethic, being a migrant worker, your family being a migrant
Yes.
family, and so
Yeah.
forth. Can you expand on that?
Absolutely. And just growing up here in South Texas, I love the Valley. I've traveled a lot, and I always want to come back here. Like, this is home to me. I know a lot of people want to leave the Valley, but I want to stay in the Valley. And that's why I want to make South Texas better. So
To improve it.
so people don't leave South Texas for better opportunities. Why not bring those good paying jobs here? We
Yeah.
have the ingredients to be successful. We just have to be given that opportunity. Those up north have to have faith in us to come down here and invest
Mhm.
and bring those good paying jobs so we can accomplish the American dream here. Very little people accomplish the American dream here in South Texas. That's why they leave South Texas. But why not increase the amount of people that can accomplish that American dream here
So what are
South
the
Texas?
ingredients that you feel that we should work on here in the Rio
Well,
Grande
we
Valley?
have the ingredients. I feel we do. We have the ingredients.
Which are they? Which ones do you feel are the ingredients?
Faith. We have, the people here in South Texas have a lot of faith, strong faith in God. We love family. We love to work hard. We're not afraid to work anywhere. We'll do whatever it takes to take care of our children and our families. That's what I love. There's no such thing as, oh, I'm too good for this job. No, we'll do whatever it takes to take care of our family. So we just need to be given that opportunity of those people with big money, big investors to come here and invest here in South Texas and hire us
Yeah.
because we have the work ethic to get the job done.
Yeah, I agree with that statement, Myra.
Regardless of the politics.
Yeah, regardless of party
The
lines.
politics, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. Most of us here in South Texas are all about faith, family, and hard work. That is just who we are. That's the majority of us.
Just take a snapshot anywhere here in the 956 in the whole entire Rio Grande Valley, regardless of party lines. Our people are the biggest asset,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
I don't care where you go. Even across the nation, the largest, I think, labor force is Hispanic.
Yeah.
You go out there in the construction jobs, field workers, and so many laborers workforce.
Yeah.
You're going to see the Mexican ancestry
They need to
people.
see us as Americans.
Yes.
They point at us as just Hispanics.
So why
You
don't
know?
they do that, Myra? What's your opinion? Why I mean, they're here.
That's on us. We have to show that patriotism, that love for our country, and wave the American flag. Because at the end of the day, most of us were born here. I was born in Mexico, but most of us in South Texas, you were born here. You go to
Yeah.
Mexico, you're an American.
Yeah.
You can say you're Mexican all day long, but at the end of the day, when you go to Mexico, eres un americano.
Yes.
Es un americano. So embrace your heritage, absolutely, but be proud to be an American. You do not have to have blonde hair and blue eyes to be an American.
Oh, yeah.
This is what an American looks like.
And I totally agree with that. I
And
have
so
known
be
experience with that.
be proud of that. And it's coming from someone who wasn't born here. You know, I was born in Mexico and very proud of my roots, my heritage, but I'm a proud American. This country's given me everything that I have today.
All the opportunity.
All the opportunities, you know, and it's very difficult in Mexico to have the opportunities that you have here in the United States. And
Yeah.
so I tell people, don't forget why your parents left.
Mhm.
And why it's so important to protect this country so much. Because if this country goes down, it hurts everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone around. But yeah, growing up here in South Texas was the best experience. But growing up in the Panhandle as well. You know, here in South Texas, I was we're the majority. But up in the Panhandle, I was a minority. I was growing up with whites, African Americans, 2 or 3 Latinos. That's it.
Yeah.
But you know what? At the end of the day, we were all hunting.
Mm-hmm.
We were all mud riding. We were all swimming. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if you were Black. It didn't matter if you were white. At the end of the day, we were all having fun. And so I just love that I got to grow up in that atmosphere, that I got to grow up here in South Texas, surrounded by, Hispanics, Mexican Americans, my culture. But then I love that I had the opportunity to go up in the Panhandle and grow up with whites and African Americans and not once be treated in a different way.
The American dream of the blended cultures. That makes the
Yes.
American dream.
Yes. They were
Go-
so good to me.
Going back to, I have a question for you. And because we've all seen this in the media and so
Mhm.
forth. In your opinion, what's happening to our culture that we're trying to, we're trying to adapt to the American mainstream to assimilate. However, none of them, or the majority of the ones that come out in the media have, they're waving the Mexican flag. Right. They're
Right.
here in America. And, I have
Right.
my opinions and thoughts about that, but I want to hear yours. Like, if you're working here, you're getting educated in America, why are you still waving the Mexican flag, not the American
Right.
flag?
It's disrespectful. You cannot go to Mexico and wave the American flag. It's very disrespectful. Try taking the American flag to Mexico. So why would you do it here? I'm all about respecting both the Mexican flag and the American flag. I just see that the American flag is constantly being disrespected. So if we wouldn't go to Mexico and wave the American flag, then why would it be okay for you to do it here?
Yeah, I get
It's also
that.
illegal.
Yeah.
An American cannot go to Mexico and protest with the American flag. It's actually illegal. I mean, how amazing is America that it allows you to wave a foreign flag? This country's amazing, but you should also respect it. I'm all for you embracing your culture and your heritage. I do too. But at the same time, show some respect for the United States, for the country that's given you and your family, given us all the opportunities that our home country didn't.
Mm-hmm.
The United States didn't fail us. It was the countries where we're from that failed us.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think it's very disrespectful.
Yeah, I agree with that, Mayra. But in your opinion, why is it happening? What is it with the majority of the people that do it? Do they not, in your opinion, they don't understand
They don't
the concept, or
understand
do you think
the
they're not
concept.
educated to understand
They
what?
were not instilled. Unfortunately, their parents failed to instill in them love for our country. But listen, it's not just Mexican Americans. It's white people. Okay, white liberals do not show love and respect for this country either. So they're pointing at, Hispanics, but that's a minority. Most Hispanics, most Mexican Americans love and respect this country.
Mm-hmm.
Why not talk about the white liberals that are also burning and disrespecting this flag?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you have a lot of white liberals going in more into the Democrat Party, and you have more Mexican Americans, more Hispanics going into the Republican Party.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't because of the Hispanics, Latino community, we probably wouldn't have President Trump in the White House, because more whites are actually going towards the left. So their parents failed to instill in them love and respect for our country. So we have an obligation to instill that in our kids so that the next generations love and respect this country. Because how do we expect others to love this country when our own that were born and raised here don't? But everyone's just pointing out the Mexican Americans. They're not, what about the white liberals? They're the ones, in my opinion, that are destroying this country. It's the white liberals.
So what do you think is causing that paradigm shift where even the white, American citizens are not respecting their own country that gave them everything they got?
Mm-hmm.
So what's causing that, in your opinion?
Unfortunately, their parents gave them everything they didn't have and forgot to instill in them what they did have. A lot of parents just want to give their kids everything. Everything.
Well, it's destroying the country, and how do we stop and change this?
That's where parents need to step in.
Mm-hmm.
We have an obligation to change that, and even though I grew up with very little, I had the best childhood. My parents gave me so much love, instilled in me so respect for this country. My dad was a Democrat practically all his life.
Tell us a little bit about your dad.
And my mom, and they instilled in me faith, strong family values, to work hard. So my dad is the old school, John F. Kennedy, a Democrat.
That was a Rio Grande Valley way back when.
Yes.
Yeah, I can remember as a child in the 70s, even into the 80s, grandma's house, they had that big JFK,
I was
the
given
towel or the
that
rug in the
portrait.
background. Yeah.
My uncle gave me a portrait of his that he had in his living room. He wanted me to have it.
Yeah, they were big fans. But I think what's happened, and this is my opinion, right? And that those were the old, when at least in Texas, I think the last blue dog governor that we had was Ann Richards. Very ultimate conservative blue dog Democrats that I think would nowadays would line up more with the Republican,
Party.
Republican side, not
Correct.
the far right. But
not the far right.
Yeah, because I feel some of the policies have overcorrected a lot of the policies that they're trying to do. Yeah. I think perhaps.
But look, I'm considered far right for some reason.
Well, it's corrected here.
The New York Times wrote an article that said the far right Latina, which made no sense. I have to admit, though, I did put that in a portrait. I was like, I'm in the New York Times. It doesn't matter what the title is.
But yeah, so you consider yourself where in the Republican center then?
No, not center. I mean, I'm a strong Republican. My voting record is very strong. I have an A+ voting record. But what is far right? An
extreme hard, overcorrected, conservative right on the Republican side.
What policies, though?
Well, it can be any policy. It's just where it's an extremist. Where even like some of the Republicans would, they would side to some of like maybe the
I'm a strong Second Amendment supporter. There is no negotiation there. Believe in border security, law and order. I believe in immigration. I immigrated here, but in the legal process, not the mismanagement and the out of control open borders under the Biden administration when we had like 10,000 people per day
Oh,
coming
for
in,
sure. Yeah.
right? So, but because I support those things, meaning on the left, call me far right,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and those on the Republican Party might think, yo, she's not strong enough.
Yeah.
And so I just do me. You know, this is what I believe in. It's up to you what you want to consider me
Mm-hmm.
to be.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the things that I strongly stand on, especially the Second Amendment, because I've seen what criminals
Yeah.
do in countries like Venezuela, right? Where the government said, turn in your guns, we will protect you. And now what is the government doing? Pointing those guns back at the people of Venezuela. So no, never give up your guns to the government. That's the worst thing we could ever do.
Yeah.
So there's things that I just won't negotiate when it comes to the Second Amendment. We need more good people with guns,
Mm-hmm.
and we need less people with guns. But I do believe that there's certain things that we can do. For example, we see a lot of drugs coming into our country, and we do a lot of inspections coming in, but we do not do inspections leaving south.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to put in place inspections going southbound, making sure that no guns are going into Mexico and no money is going into Mexico, because drugs come in, but guns and money leaves the United States.
Yeah, they go back south.
Correct. And we have to do something about it. And why are they bringing drugs? Because there's a demand in this country too.
Mm-hmm.
The root of the problem is that there's a demand here.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to put in place funding to help Americans get out of drug abuse issues, because we have a huge drug problem in this country. Child trafficking is another thing that I'm very passionate in putting in place policies that put these monsters in prison for the rest of their life. I mean, I would give them the death penalty. I can care less. I will give no mercy to anyone that is involved in child trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
These people do not deserve to have mercy.
Yeah.
And this country right now is the number one in child trafficking and child pornography. Mexico is the number one provider. And it just makes me sick to my stomach that we do not put in place harsher laws on these people. I mean, I want these people eradicated completely. They're bringing in these children. Why? Because there's a demand here. So we have to completely get rid of these people. You know, it's not about you just pressing a button when you're watching these things. No, you're causing pain and trauma and abuse towards a child in Latin America. No, you deserve to be in prison forever. I mean, if it was up to me, I would give all these people the death penalty to not make me governor, to not make me president.
So
because
what?
I would. I just can't. You know, I just cannot comprehend so much cruelty towards a child. I'm a mother of 4, and I'm just very passionate about this issue.
Yeah, of course.
And putting in place these types of policies and being that voice that, unfortunately, there's not a lot of people wanting to talk about this issue because it's controversial.
So what's your opinion on the Epstein files not being released then?
They need to be released.
So what's your opinion about that?
That they need to be released.
Why do you think it hasn't happened?
I don't know why. I'm sure that there's a reason why. I'm going to trust in the process that very soon they will be released.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why the Biden administration didn't release it either. Now they're putting pressure to be released, but they didn't release it themselves under the
it
Biden
raises
administration.
so many questions on both sides to everybody.
You know?
Yeah.
And so what's going on? I don't care if what side you're on the aisle. If you were,
Oh yeah. But the reason you mentioned is because of the pornography, the exploitation of children. It was happening there. So it just raises that concern. Me personally is like, let's release those files.
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on, who is there or what.
Why
and
not?
Let's take care of it.
Why not?
Yeah.
And let the American people decide.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, going back to, if you don't mind, give us a little bit background with your parents' background, your father and mother. What kind of, they were migrant workers? Did they work in anything
Yes.
else? And
They were migrant workers for many years. We worked in the cotton fields. We did hoeing, el asadón,
Mhm.
up in Memphis. My dad worked at a peanut factory for many years as well, at a cotton factory as well. I worked alongside my parents too. I was about 14 years old.
Uh-huh.
I would work my summers. I wanted Doc Martens, so
And
I
then-
had to work hard for them. And then I just fell in love with it. Honestly, I fell in love with working. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow, like I can make this. Because back in the days, like for me, it was a lot of money, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to work every day. I was working Monday through Saturday in my summers. And I was able to buy, you know, my school clothes, school supplies, everything. And I loved it. I loved it. I mean, I didn't like it at 3 or 4 in the morning when my hands were hurting, my knuckles, and I was putting icy hot in my hands.
Yeah.
Because once your body, you know, rests, you feel all the pain.
Yeah.
But then it would go away once you start
Yeah.
working. So I just love the experience of working
Yeah.
with both my mom and my dad. It was the best. I cannot thank them enough that they allowed me to give me that opportunity to work with my mom and my dad, and got to see my dad and got to see my dad's best side and worst side. and my mom, so patient and so hardworking. I mean, she worked the hardest because we would get home at 5. She would make dinner, wash clothes, and then prep everything ready for the next day in the morning. I mean, this woman is just,
That's a lot.
I admire her so
A
much.
lot
My
of
mom,
responsibilities.
yes, you know, she only speaks Spanish, but managed to learn a little bit of English to become a CNA.
Nice.
Yes, I'm
Wow.
so proud of my mom. She's just one of the most hardworking women that I know. When people tell me like, who's your inspiration? Who do you admire? It's my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
You know, with very little, they've been able to accomplish so much. And my dad just, he loves his life. He's a truck driver now.
Nationally or local?
No,
state?
local. He does like, caliche.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
drops off dirt and things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah. Flores, call him up. He's in Los Indios.
Okay. Yeah, we will. We'll always need caliche here and there.
Yes, Saul Flores. Yes.
So, Mayra, what are your thoughts? I wanted to talk to you about this, and because I'm a firm believer, and you touched on it, that strong work ethic that traditionally we used to have
Mhm.
here in the Rio Grande Valley is being lost. Like people don't migrate as much. The jobs, the industry has changed.
Mhm.
The youth are not working. They're kind of getting spoiled with all these digital social media, and not only here, but I think nationally.
Nationally, worldwide, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and so now, there's the world's changing. How we're going to teach this new generation that work ethic, that's a challenge. And I think that's why you have a lot of people being depressed.
Feeling
you know?
entitled too.
Yeah, false
There's a lo-
entitlement of the
There's
children.
a lot of
A false
entitlement in this world.
And I know
They're just gonna have to learn the hard way. They're gonna have to
Yeah.
learn the hard way. But it all comes back to the parents, unfortunately.
Mm.
They gave them everything because they didn't have everything. But there's a lot of amazing things that we did have. Maybe we didn't have the expensive clothes and and the money, but we had the love
Mhm.
and the respect from our parents and the amazing upbringing. I never had a Christmas tree growing up. Not one time. That we never put up a Christmas tree. There wasn't really Christmas presents either. We would always go visit my grandmother and my grandfather to Burgos. And we would kill a cow, a pig, and have a big feast, with the family. And my grandma would do bags of candy,
Uh-huh.
bolsitas de dulce, and just hand it to her grandkids. And then a piñata.
Mhm.
And those are the best memories ever.
Yeah, those are awesome memories.
Yes, that's
Because when you're bonding with your family, I
That's
think
the best.
yeah.
And I think we get caught up so much in wanting to give our kids like the most expensive gift and most expensive life, and we forget to give them what matters the most. That's just my humble opinion, is like, keep your children humble, down to earth, to be respectful. It will help them in life,
No, definitely. I
you
think the
know,
biggest challenge though
and,
now for parents is
and teach them to
the
communicate, to
distractions.
be able to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I talk to so many young people and they can't carry a conversation because they're living on their phones.
Exactly. The
They're living on
distractions.
their phones and they forget to live.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, my advice, my humble advice, is just to instill that in your kids. I'm not a perfect mom whatsoever. God knew to give me good kids. God knew that I was going to be a very busy mom. So I'm very blessed. But I'm not their friend. You know, I'm their mom. So there's going to be times where they're not going to like me. You know what? I don't like you. That's fine. I'm not here for you to
You
like
have to
me.
be a parent first before you know anything.
Yes. So, you know, I've just understood that because growing up, there was moments I didn't like my mom and my dad either, when they wouldn't let me go to a certain party or come back at a certain time. They were very strict. And looking back now, I thank them. So my kids will thank me later
Yeah, they'll
as
respect you
well.
for it later.
Yes. But again, we're not perfect. There's not a book, right? We do the best that we can, and we learn with our children too, and learn to admit as well. Look, son, I made a mistake. Teach them that we as adults also make mistakes, and that we can acknowledge those
So
mistakes.
what kind of family time do you have with your kids?
You know, it's difficult because I do a lot of traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And the time that I have with them, I'm in the moment. Like, I block everything, and so I really try to spend as much time as I can with them. But I'm here, you know, 3 weeks out of the month, and 1 week I'll travel. But I'm here most of the time, dropping them off, picking them up, you know, having dinner
Uh-huh.
with them 80% of the time.
Do you all have like family hobbies doing together, like maybe watching TV
My girls love shopping.
or reading or something?
My girls love shopping.
Yeah.
My girls love shopping. I gotta admit.
They're all girls?
No, I have 2 boys and 2 girls.
Okay.
But my oldest is getting ready to leave to the Air Force.
Nice.
And
Congratulations on that.
yes, I'm very proud of him. And then Jaden, he's in high school already and sophomore, and he's in love. So that's his focus right now. I'm like, he's in love right now. So
Yeah.
that's his focus.
We
I
live
love
and learn,
him.
right? We live and
Yes.
learn.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard. But I love him so much and so proud of him. He's doing amazing.
Any of them
Amazing in high
you
school.
think gonna follow you in politics?
I don't know. Going to be up to
Time will
them.
tell, right?
But it's a very difficult
Mm-hmm.
route to take.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew what I was doing. I think God didn't want me to see too
Yeah.
much. And I miss my previous career because I was in the medical field. I mentioned to you
Yeah.
earlier before the podcast that after I graduated in San Benito, I went to TSTC. I got a few of my basics there. Then I went to South Texas College, graduated from there, became a respiratory care practitioner. And I did that for about 8 years, worked with the elderly and with children that had respiratory issues. I loved that job so much. I did home health, so just being able to go and take care of children and take care of the elderly, it was truly my favorite. Because, you know, in the medical field, and I worked the front lines of COVID, and that was tough. But it allows you to see people for who they are. Like,
Yeah.
you do not care about the politics. You just want to take care of people. And that's what I love about the medical field. So I have a lot of respect for everyone, doctors, RNs, CNAs, everything, respiratory therapists, everyone in the medical field. God bless you, because it's not an easy job, but We need you. We need you desperately.
And people don't realize how big of a demand there is here in South
Yes,
Texas.
and the
It's humongous.
sacrifice too. See, we in the political world, we make a lot of sacrifices, but those in the medical field do as well. Teachers make a huge sacrifice as well. They spend countless hours in their classrooms,
Mhm.
and then they go home and they're still grading work,
And don't
and
get paid for it.
and they don't get paid what they deserve to get
No,
paid.
they don't get paid
So
for all that time.
yes, I make sacrifices, but so does everyone else, to be honest with you. Everyone in the medical field, they've been working 14, 16 hours in the
Mhm.
hospitals, and again, teachers, truck drivers that leave their families for days, weeks. Those who work in the oil field. We have a lot of people in the valley that work in the oil fields. I go to work in West Texas. They're out there for 2, 3 weeks and then come and spend a few days here with their family. That's sacrifice,
Mhm.
So yes, I make sacrifices, but so does everyone else. I'm not the only one making sacrifices.
Yeah. Let's back up a little bit. If we can go ahead and clarify you're going to be running for what position?
So I want to run for Congress. But recently, the lines have changed. Well, it passed the Senate, but it hasn't passed the House yet. There was new lines redrawn. So in 22, I won a special election, right? Became the first Mexican-born member of Congress. But unfortunately, due to redistricting, we lost our reelection. Because in the special election, it was a different map.
Mhm.
It was a map that leaned Democrat. Then they redrew the map into a hard Democrat. That's the reason why Congressman Vicente Gonzalez switched districts. So he was in Texas 15. He served here in Texas 15. After the new lines were drawn, Texas 15 became more competitive. So he knew that he needed more cushion, right? That he needed that leverage. So he switched districts. So he went to 34.
Mhm.
Don't believe that he ran in 34 because his house was in 34. That's not true because there was an amendment that allowed his home to be placed in 34.
So which district are you going to run in, Mayra? For clarification.
It all depends, to
So
be
you
honest.
haven't decided.
I haven't decided. Likely Texas District 34 because of the work that we've put in that district, depending on where the lines end, and if this map actually does pass the House.
Okay, so District 34.
District 34. It's a district that, I served in, worked really hard for many years, lost our reelection by 2 points. A district that Biden had won by 15 points.
Mhm.
So we put in a lot of work, but the odds were against us, the way it was redrawn. And so now that it's drawn in a way that it's more balanced, it gives us a fair shot
Okay.
in actually flipping this district.
Can we put it up there, Roland? I don't know if you have it. Snapshot up on the screen, District 34, if you can.
The new one.
Yeah, then. Yeah. He if he can find it, he'll put it
Yeah.
up there. Or if there's anything else you want us to look at, we can put it up there on the screen
Mhm.
for you as well. So, Mayra, so if you're still deciding which district. For example, what's the deadline for you to decide to run?
November.
November what?
November. I don't have actually December. December is the deadline, but I'll be making a decision in the next week or two. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Within a week's.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
And then once you decide, who do you think would be the challenger?
Vicente.
Okay.
Yeah.
And District 34.
In District 34, if he decides to run again. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But you need to win the primary. Is there going to be any other?
I'm sure there will be people running in Texas District 34.
Yeah, those still the ones I meant. Who else do you think would be running on the Republican side on the primaries?
There's a few, but if I do decide to run in Texas District 34, look, Team Mayra has done a tremendous work there. I'm very confident that the primary won't be a problem. The our focus is always the general. But we'll see. Maybe Vicente won't run for re-election. Maybe he will. So we'll see. I hope the transition is smooth though of his office whenever I take over.
If it, yeah, well, good luck with that.
Yes.
Out of curiosity, just for clarification purposes, because a lot of our followers and other viewers, and please subscribe, guys. We get so many views, and you don't follow us. We get almost like 1 million views, and people are not followers. But please support us in that way. But
Absolutely.
anyway, for those that are not aware, just for clarification purposes, right now, if it passes the Senate, and then it's got to
It already
pass the
passed the
House.
Senate, and it should be passing in the next few days the House.
Okay.
As well. Once that map is passed, right here.
So where would this is the current, the proposed one. Can you enlarge the proposed one, Roland, if you can? So what cities, what major towns are in the valley?
Cameron County.
All Cameron County?
Only Cameron County, and it goes up to Nueces County. I have a lot of family.
There we go.
All my family live in Cameron County, and I have a lot of family in Nueces County as well.
Okay, so what is the dividing between 15 and 30 for that line? That
Hidalgo? So Hidalgo
County line?
Hidalgo is now Texas 15.
Okay.
And Mission is now part of Texas 28.
20. Who's over there in 28? If you can enlighten me. Right now, who's in
Cuellar.
Oh, Cuellar. Okay.
Cuellar. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Who's being indicted. He has a court in September.
Oh, that's right.
For money laundering. Both
Is
him
he
and
being-
his wife.
Oh, wow.
Both him and his wife.
Who's challenging him? Do you know?
There's a lot of people that are going to also be running in that primary. Again, see, a lot has changed after these proposed maps. So a lot of people will be running in Texas 28, Texas 35 as well is another district that now is Republican. We're going to see a lot of people running in that primary. We'll see what happens.
So what are your feelings about, because I know historically it's done every 10-ish years. They didn't wait. I think we're 4 or 5 years in, and they decided to do it again with the Trump administration,
Right,
and be proactive to do that. So what are your personal thoughts on why they did it and the pros and the cons?
Well, they did it because it's legal. We have mid-decade redistricting in Texas. It's been done before. Now, it's important to understand that the Democrats were not happy with the previous map, with the current districts, right? I actually testified against them. I went to Austin and testified against the current districts, not the proposed, the current district lines. I went back in 2021 and I testified against this current congressional districts. Unfortunately, nothing happened, but the Democrats sued because they felt that there was not enough Hispanic majority districts. Hispanics being the majority, they felt that Hispanics should have more Hispanic majority districts. I agree. Proposed districts actually give 4 more Hispanic majority districts. So what's the problem? They sued, Democrats sued Texas for the current districts. Why are they mad that they're doing what they asked them to do? I'll tell you why. Because these Hispanics voted for President Trump. In 2021, they didn't see that coming. They didn't know that Hispanics, especially men, majority of Latino men gave the vote to President Trump. They did not know that Hispanics were going to have this huge shift. They should have seen it coming from 2016, 2020. I mean, the red flags were there that we were moving slowly but surely towards the Republican Party because they were moving more towards the left. The Democrat moved farther and farther to the left, and Hispanics moved towards the right every single time. And so they didn't see the red flags. We gave them plenty of warning shots. They didn't see it coming. So now that these new map is giving Hispanics more Hispanic majority districts, they're upset because these Hispanics voted for President Trump.
Yes.
So they want to silence these Hispanics.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Instead of them coming more towards the middle.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you reflect on what you did wrong instead of pointing fingers? Because that's what the Democrat Party does. They just point fingers. They don't see how badly they messed up. I mean, to the point where there's things that are just common sense. For example, men playing in women's sports. That's just common sense that men shouldn't play women's sports. We're not the same.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
It blows my mind. We're very different. We shouldn't be competing with each other, men and women. We should be complementing each other. But the left is constantly bashing men. You know, they don't want men to be men. They want to feminize men. It's like, no, we need men to be men. We need brave and very courageous men in this country. And we embrace that. The Republican Party embraces, you know, men being men and fathers being fathers and women being women, you know. But the Democrat Party can't even define what a woman is and believes that a man should be able to go into a woman's restroom. No. And that a little girl can transition into a little boy and a little boy can transition into a little girl. Look, I don't care what you do once you're an adult, but leave children alone. A child can't even get a tattoo and you want them to go through a transition that is going to impact them for the rest of their life? And I don't understand why the Pediatric Association isn't involved in this. But maybe because these will be their patients for the rest of their life.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that.
So
you know, I side with that.
Call me old-fashioned, whatever.
No, I don't think that's old-fashioned. But
a lot of people call me old-fashioned. And I'm like, this is just common sense. You know, a woman is a woman, a man is a man. Period.
I think that's what caused a lot of the transition where our population shifted and there was a lot of people voting for Trump.
Correct.
Because
and the economy too.
Yeah.
And the economy too.
But on that one topic alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, we're very conservative in the 956 here in the Rio Grande Valley. We're not going to want those things.
Of the politics, no, we do not want those things.
Yeah.
Go and live your life however you want, but stop pushing that agenda into our children. Leave children alone. So we just got fed up with it. And the Democrat Party didn't learn a thing. I mean, they're still constantly promoting and embracing this. And it's just nonsense. And so those are things that moved Hispanics towards the Republican Party. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, the economy. Who doesn't want more money in their pockets?
But do you feel, Mayra, that the local Democratic members here in the Rio Grande Valley from the different districts align with those?
Well, they'll come here, for example, and pretend that they don't, but they go to Washington and vote for it. So say whatever you want, but your voting record says otherwise. You know, so your Democrats here in South Texas will say something to the people here in South Texas, thinking that they're not going to look up their voting record. So then they go to Austin and vote party lines. Same thing with members of Congress in South Texas. They'll say something to the people here in South Texas, thinking that they'll never look up their voting record. And then they'll go up to Washington and vote party lines.
To appease the people?
To appease the party, not the people.
No, the people that they're saying they won't vote that way, but they end up doing it.
Absolutely. Well, they're not appeasing the people because South Texas doesn't support that. But they have to fall in line with the Democrat Party. Because if not, their party will go against them.
Yeah. So what would you do if you were challenged that way, Mayra? If you know here your population that voted you in wanted to vote and something that would hurt the valley, and your party is telling you to vote other, what would you do in a situation like that?
I'll tell you what I did when I was in Congress. So there's a bill called Safer Communities Act, okay, that both parties came together for this bill. I was told, meaning from my own party, to vote for this bill. It's called Safer Communities Act. I mean, doesn't it just sounds good, right?
Yeah, it does sound good.
It sounds good. I know. And that's exactly what they do. They'll name it something very beautiful, something really nice, because they think that you're not going to read the bill. So they'll deceive the people by calling the bill something really nice. And then you read the bill and it has nothing to do with the title of the bill. So they actually wrote this bill after the tragedy of Uvalde. And it was very difficult times. I'm a mother, my children go into the public schools as well. And till this day, we're not doing enough to keep our children safe in schools. I'm first to admit it. We have a long way, and I don't know why it's taking so long. It needs to be a top priority, making sure that our children are safe at schools.
By doing what?
By investing more in our public schools' safety, making sure that we have top law enforcement in every school, making sure that every single door is bulletproof, and that there is no in and out, only one door in the front, and that we have somebody guarding that door at all times.
I agree with that. I think that's an excellent idea, but I'd also think I'm going to agree with the other statement. It's up to the parents as well. You can't leave it up to the government and the schools themselves. It comes from home.
It comes from home, and they created this bill right after the tragedy and sold it so well that this bill is going to keep our children safe. Vote for this bill. Guess how much money each school would receive? $3,000. The rest was all pork and nonsense. But they sold that bill to the American people, that bill would keep schools safe and our children would be safer.
Where did it end up going? What kind of
It passed.
No, I know it passed, but who got the majority? If the schools only got 3,000 each, you said it went into
all over the world. All over the world. It had things that had nothing to do with keeping our children safe. And I voted against it. Well, how can you vote against keeping our community safe? Safer Communities Act. I said, read the bill. It's only $3,000 per school. It's insulting as a mother who has children in public schools. Because, by the way, most, elected officials do not have their children in public schools. They have their children in private schools. I have my kids in public schools. So I have skin in the game in this. I want our public schools to be safer. But I thought it was so insulting to tell us that this bill would keep us safe when I read the bill and it's only $3,000 per school. And so they told me, you need to vote for this bill. If you don't, you might lose your reelection. You know what? I'd rather lose my reelection than vote for something like that. That is a huge disrespect towards our children, towards parents. It's a complete lie, and time will prove me right. And look, are our schools safer? What did Safer Communities Act do? Absolutely nothing. So it was all politics, It was all politics. And look, Republicans were involved in writing this bill too in the Senate. I didn't care.
So what do you do in a situation like that, Mayra?
You stand up for what is right.
No, but I'm talking in regards to, I'm going to use it as an example because they just read the title. It sounds like an awesome bill, but they don't read. They don't read the bill.
Congress.
So how do you deflect and say, "Hey, I voted this way, public. The community that voted for you," to explain to them why you did it, to perhaps they can understand. That seems to be a challenge, right?
Absolutely. And I did a lot of conferences. We did.
Does it work?
It does to a certain extent. Unfortunately, I had a lot of ads run against me on this bill. And people believe the propaganda being shared on social media that is creating a lot of division
Oh,
in our country.
that never happens in TV.
And
I'm being
I tell
sarcastic.
people all the time, no, I know. I tell people all the time, read these bills,
Yeah. But they won't.
but they won't. And so, and I get it, because prior to me getting into Congress, I wasn't reading bills. You know, I got to Congress and I was in complete shock how this place was being run. And I remember thinking, we've been lied to. We were told that these positions are not for people like us. No, these positions are for people like us. We have the common sense, we have the work ethic, the ganas. We love our community, we love our country.
Yeah.
We need more of us.
I'm curious, Mayra. Can you paint us a
Congress.
picture so everybody can know? I'm very curious, and maybe others as
Mhm.
well. So you get elected. What is the daily life or daily activity of a congressperson? Like, where do you live? Where's your office? What kind of meetings are you having? Paint us a picture. What's a day like being in Congress, or a week like? For those, I'm curious, right? Like if
Well, everyone runs their lives very different, but I can only speak for myself. So I started every morning, you know, waking up my kids to school when I was in Washington. A few days we're in Washington, but as soon as, you know, session's over, we come back here to our home. But first thing I would wake up was talk to my kids, waking up, getting them ready to go to school. I always prioritize my meetings. Do I need to be there? If I don't need to be there, I don't want to be there. So
but reviewing these bills, like what team, how do you develop your team? How do you develop your team so you're making sure you're getting the accurate data to make the best decisions?
you're gonna have people that work on those issues, like a legislator that is going to review all these bills for you and is going to give you a summary. Well, at first, when I got to Congress, they were not giving me a summary. I demanded a summary. I said, I want a summary of every single bill. And I want to know why I'm being recommended to vote on this, why I'm being recommended to vote
Who's giving
no.
you the bill?
Of course, your speaker.
Mm.
You know, it all these bills pass through committee. Then they go to us, and they go up to the floor to vote. Once they pass the committee, they come to us, and then we vote.
And how much time do you have to review?
We have hours.
Hours.
We don't have a lot of time. That's why we have an amazing team, right? You're going to have probably like 10, 12 people working for you, and everyone is reviewing these bills, and then we do recommendations.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Hours.
We're not given enough time to read.
So how do you pick your team? Like, you don't go to ZipRecruiter or something like that. Of course not, right?
I was
so how do you
blessed.
find qualified
I had an amazing
people?
chief that had the experience and knew exactly what I needed, and brought in all these amazing people that I'm very close to now. And of course, I looked at resumes as well, but it had to be done really quick for me. For me, it was fast because I came in June, so it was in the middle of session.
Yeah.
And so my chief had the experience in bringing in the right people, because there's no way I would have been able to do it without them. But I also realized that a lot of members don't make these decisions. They allow their teams to make the decisions for them. So I was very hands-on. I wasn't sleeping much because I wanted to read these bills myself.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I was, sleeping maybe 3 or 4 hours the most.
Are they attorneys? Some of them attorneys or not? Or
Yes, and
policymakers?
Policymakers, yes. And look, you know how to read and write, and you got comprehension. Doesn't need much, to be honest with you. And then together as a team, they probably never worked with a member that was so hands-on. I was very hands-on in every vote. It didn't matter to me what they wanted me to vote for, yes or no. Like, I was going to vote based on what I believed in. If I was comfortable voting for something, I would vote for it. If not, it was a no. I didn't really look at how Republicans voted for bills. I would just do me.
So you're reviewing it in your office?
In our office, but
With
I
your
would take
team.
it with me sometimes.
And
But
the other party members are calling you.
We're
Look at this, look at that. Do you
Yes.
call other members and what
Absolutely.
does this mean? Or
Absolutely. You
Okay.
have to. The Texas delegation, we met every week.
uh-huh.
We had a lunch every week. So we would come together and we would ask questions. Hey, how are you going to vote on this? How do you feel about this? Are you comfortable with this? Are you not comfortable with this? So we would all come together. But at the end of the day, we all would make an ultimate decision on every bill.
Is
And we
there-
were never forced, by the way. We were never forced to vote
Yeah, of course not.
a certain way.
How about negotiating, for example, something that would benefit your district this time, but you would negotiate next time that the district, a policy that would benefit somebody else's, because it takes a whole group to pass a bill.
Correct.
Does that happen?
All the time. I actually voted for anything that had to do with veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I would cross party lines because when it comes to our veterans, you don't play politics.
Yeah.
So if you need to cross party lines to making sure that our veterans, our men and women in the military have what they need, what they deserve, yes, you cross party lines if that's the right thing to do. And I did that. And my voting record is there. I'm very proud of my voting record. Even though I was in a Biden 15 district, I have an A+ voting record on every issue because my main focus was always in making sure that every vote would actually do good for the people of South Texas, the people that I represented. It wasn't, that I voted to favor a political party.
Mm-hmm.
I voted in favor in making sure that every bill was what was right, and voted many times against, funding. I voted against funding for Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
I do not support sending, all this foreign aid when we have so much needs here in South Texas. Like, there's people that live in poverty in the United States. And, you take care of your home first.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I demonstrated that with my voting record. I didn't support sending, all this money abroad. All about America first and putting the people that voted for you first. Prioritize them, no one else. Because at the end of the day, those people did not vote for you to be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's about policy. I hate the politics, but I have to go into politics to get policy done.
Exactly.
My passion is policy because people matter. And with policy, you can grow the economy, put in place policies that secure the border,
Mm-hmm.
that we have safer communities where our children are not afraid to go play soccer outside. Eventually, if we're not careful with the wrong policies, with the wrong leadership, our children won't be able to play outside. Don't ever think that you're the exception, and those things won't ever happen here in the United States.
No, of
They are
course not.
happening here in the United States, not here in South Texas, but they are happening in Houston, Austin, certain areas in Dallas, and throughout the country where children can't go play outside ball. They're afraid. You don't want that coming into your communities. And it's happening in these major cities because of poor leadership. They do not implement laws to these criminals. They just, hit them on the hand and let them go.
And they defund the police.
They believe in defunding the police. They release criminals. No, you got to enforce the law. And so I do not want those policies to ever come here to South Texas. So that is why it's so important for people to be very well informed. Don't vote for someone that you like.
Mm-hmm.
Vote for someone that is going to put in place the policies. Look at their policies, the policies that are going to strengthen the economy, secure the border, safer community, better education, healthcare. You got to look at all that. It's not about who you like. It's about who is going to put in place the right policies.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest challenge.
It is the biggest challenge.
And I have some questions for you, if you would allow me.
Absolutely.
For the South Texas voters that could possibly, vote for
Mm-hmm.
you. What is your political platform? What are your ideas to instill for our local economy? What are you going to do or propose to help to stimulate the economy?
Highlight South Texas and bringing big investors into this area. I'm actually working right now as we speak with a few doctors to bring a huge lab here, to build a huge lab for cancer research. Um, I believe that we need more of that here in South Texas, not just in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So working with these doctors and highlighting this area, that this lab can be placed here in South Texas. You don't need to put this lab in Houston. We can make it work here. And we're talking about millions of dollars. And this will also bring jobs as well. I just believe in highlighting this area, bringing in big investors to invest in this area and bring good paying jobs. I see a lot of amazing restaurants being built, and that's awesome. But I also want to bring big corporations that are going to pay big money and going to be giving big opportunities for people here, so they don't need to go to Houston or these big cities for better paying jobs. We have a good cost of living here in South Texas. So just imagine getting paid what you get paid in Houston here, but with South Texas cost of living,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so I just would, my main thing is the economy.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah,
can
it is
I
the
put in
economy.
place policies that give the people of South Texas more power of their hard-earned money? Because the government right now, I feel, is gaining more and more power of our hard-earned money.
Yeah.
And the American people need to take a step back and grab that by the horns and say, that's our money.
Yeah.
Stop spending our money in nonsense. We don't have a revenue problem in this country. We have a spending problem in this country. I mean, we're trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And a lot of it can be prevented by us stopping sending money abroad. I just don't support it. When we have needs here, there is no need. There is no justification for it. Look, we pay our bills first. We're not paying our neighbors' bills first, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to pay your bills first. So we need to start paying our bills first. We need to start taking care of our home. But for me right now, the top priority for South Texas is good paying jobs, keeping the border secure. Why keeping the border secure is so important? Because I have family in the state of Tamaulipas. I know how dangerous the Mexican cartel is. I do not want that violence spilling here in South Texas. I don't want anybody ever feeling afraid of visiting their loved one. And I don't want that to come here to South Texas. Don't ever think that it won't. It will, and it has in many ways. So we have to keep our border secure in making sure that violence doesn't come here. Look, my dad took a beating a couple years back, and if it wasn't because he said he was an American, they wouldn't have let him go. My uncle and my aunt were also kidnapped as well, and they actually escaped. They wouldn't have made it, but they escaped on a stop. And so I've lived it firsthand, how dangerous this terrorist organization is. And I believe Hamas and ISIS should be eradicated, but I'm more worried about what's happening right across our border than what's happening abroad. It needs to be taken care of, but the same thing that ISIS and Hamas is doing to women is the same thing that the terrorist organization in Mexico is doing to women. They're hanging people, raping women, and killing women left and right. Why is it so shocking when Hamas and ISIS does it? And why is it not shocking when the Mexican cartel does it to the people of Mexico? Has it been normalized?
Or propaganda?
It's not propaganda. It's real.
No propaganda that they push the other agenda more.
Correct. And it makes me sick to my stomach because this is happening right next door to us. Like,
But
I don't think that we're taking it that serious, and it should be taken.
yeah, those are extremely important topics, but because most of our viewers are from here, from the Rio Grande Valley, the economy, how I feel sometimes we don't capitalize on the opportunities that we have here enough. For example, crossing party lines and I know it's in the different districts, whatever. A big asset that's already here is, for example, SpaceX. Like capitalizing on how to expand support to create more jobs in the educational with the existing
And unfortunately, the
universities.
Democrat Party is not very supportive of SpaceX.
But how would you do it? And it's particularly in your political platform that you're establishing. Do you have any thoughts or ideas how perhaps to
We have to
work on that?
we have to allow these investors to come here. Has done so much for South Texas and also for local schools as well. They've donated a lot of money in Cameron County towards our schools as well, and given a lot of people in South Texas job opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to embrace that. And if we embrace them, others will also come.
Exactly.
And oh, wow, they're so supportive of them. Maybe we should come as well. Amazon, not too long ago, thought about coming to South Texas. But a lot of people on the left, because even though a lot of people in South Texas voted for President Trump, were being controlled by Democrats at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
And it benefits them for us to stay in poverty.
Yeah.
A lot of people on the Democrat side want the Hispanics to stay poor.
Yeah.
So they can continue manipulating the Hispanic community into voting a certain way.
All right.
Keep them poor, and they'll do whatever they want. They'll do whatever we want them to do.
Okay.
You see, no, you're not going to keep us poor.
No,
we're going to prosper. We're going to prosper. We're going to work hard. We're going to lead, and we're going to run this country.
Yeah.
But the left wants to keep us poor so they can continue manipulating, because that's their base. That's their base. The Democrat Party, a lot of times they say they're for the poor. No, they're for poverty. Big difference. Mm-hmm. And they love creating poverty. They're great at it, by the way. They're great at creating poverty. And we're not. Mm-hmm. We're about prosperity, getting people out of government assistance, getting people out of housing. See, the Democratic Party wants you to stay in government assistance, wants you to stay in housing. I support this assistance to get people out of difficult times, but do not make it a way of life, right? Let's help them get out by finding good paying jobs for them, creating opportunities for them.
Okay.
But see, the Democrat Party, no, let's keep them in government assistance so they will do whatever we want them to do.
And increase that base.
Because that is their voting bloc. Mm-hmm. And see, the voting bloc for the Republican Party is the middle class, is the hardworking people that make this country go around. And those are the people that I support. Mm-hmm. What can I do to help the people that work the hardest? Day and night, sweat and tears. Those are the people that deserve us to give them a voice. And that's what I'm doing, and also want to help those who are in government assistance, give them the opportunity to get out of that and create a different path.
Not to abuse the system.
Correct. Not to abuse, but also because I want the best for them too, and for their children too, to set an example for their children as well. But we can't get them out of poverty if there isn't opportunities. So create that opportunity, that path for them to get out of poverty. And instead, the Democrat Party just wants to give you everything for free. There's no such thing as free. That word doesn't exist. It shouldn't exist. I think it should be removed completely. There's no such thing as free. Someone always pays for it. And it's usually the middle class. The middle class usually pays for everything.
Well, I have a follow-up question in regards to that, Mayra. Going to the next topic, how you're building your political platform, what you're going to run on this issue, which is healthcare. And the reason I'm asking is my main job, I'm an administrator, and I deal a lot with hospice, home health, and personal care services. And so let's start off with Medicare. Medicare is not free.
Nope.
Everybody has paid into it.
Absolutely.
It is not the fault of the patients that the government has spent the money on
elsewhere
and so many things. And they're trying to find ways to come up with the money to keep supporting the program.
Correct.
And it's very upsetting to me because there's been
Absolutely.
patients, right, that have hospice care.
Mhm.
And one of the regs is, for example, is to qualify for hospice, you need to already be declining or going to decline
Right.
within 6 months.
Correct.
If you pass 6 months, then they have the discretion to either approve or disapprove payment. And hey, they didn't get it for free. How can you tell a patient, you know what, if you don't die in 6 months, I'm sorry, I have to take you off services. If you make it to 7, 8 months, 9, and I see this every day, Mayra. And this is Medicare, and it's not free. It's not a handout. That's a difference.
Absolutely.
So
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm a
Okay.
respiratory care practitioner.
Okay, exactly.
And I did home health.
So, okay, so
as well.
what do you tell those voters? What difference are you going to make or propose? Do you propose anything?
This administration is already making big changes, and you're right. We have to. Everything. I feel that everything is very expensive for the taxpayer when it comes to medications as well. But yet you cross the border and that same medication is a lot cheaper. You know, why does the same medication here cost us hundreds of dollars, but then I go to Progreso and it's only $10, right? And so we're making huge changes in putting in place those policies. You're right. It's nothing is free. It's our money. The problem is that we're giving the government way too much control. I believe that we need to take away that control from the federal government and allow each state to control healthcare. I just think that the federal government has way too much power. We need to take some of that power away and allow each state to decide the people's healthcare, and just take that away from them, because there's way too much overspending, not just on healthcare, on Medicare and all these issues that you mentioned, but it's also Social Security as well. You know, Social Security, we've worked for it as well.
Yeah, we paid into it.
Correct. A lot of people, by the way, said Mayra's against Social Security. Mayra's going to take away your Social Security. There was ads saying that I would take away Social Security when I actually support Social Security and want to put in place something now to prevent from us losing Social Security. Because if something's not done right now, there will be no Social Security in by 2032.
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
So something needs to happen.
Oh, definitely needs to happen.
And they're like, but Mayra wants to change it. She wants to end it. No, I just want it to stop from finishing, you know, because they've been using the funds somewhere else, and that we need to put that money back into Social Security, put back that into healthcare, so our patients have all the medical needs that they deserve, that they've worked so hard for. That is their money. You're right. They worked all their life to make sure that they had that healthcare assistance when they got older.
Yeah, for
so
discussion.
it's very frustrating that a lot of people think that it's free when
No, it's not.
no, it's not free.
No, it's not.
It's been taken out of our check every time we get paid.
But can we agree to disagree?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so because I deal with it in every day, right? So Medicare is federal, Medicaid is state, which is funded federally through grants and like the CDBG, you know, Community Development Block grants.
Correct.
However, that has been tried. So the federal government will give the funds, federally funds, to the state for comparative government, and each state will administer as see fit through the Medicaid program. So what Texas did, they subcontract, and that's why you have all the HMOs, right?
Correct.
To try, because the state could not control the cost. So I said, let's pass the buck down the road. Let's give it to the HMOs, and they deal with the problem. Hasn't worked, because in the other program,
privatized it.
It didn't work. Right now, it hasn't worked, and I can tell you from experience because I deal with it. And you know, this is my opinion. I deal with it in every day. Perhaps you could consider.
You're the expert in this. So if it hasn't worked, then putting in legislation that prohibits the federal government to touch that money. So because for a long time, they've been grabbing money from there to use it for other things. So create legislation, one, put back the money that they've used, right? And then prevent them from ever borrowing any money from them.
And this is important, Mayra. And
So our generation and the future generation, there's never such a thing as there's no money. No, there's no money because y'all
spend it
on things that had nothing to do with healthcare.
Exactly.
So creating legislation preventing the federal government from ever borrowing any money.
And both parties are guilty of it.
I think that we can come together on this issue. I think that both Democrats and Republicans can come to an agreement. Hey, and not just in healthcare, there's certain departments as well, like Social Security, put in place legislation that money cannot be borrowed from these departments because we do not ever want to be in a position where there's no money. So one, replace the money that has been taken out and then put in place legislation that prevents them from ever borrowing any money.
Yes.
So we're not in this position ever again.
Yes.
And I think both sides can come into agreement.
And I have the courage to mention it to you. Some other administrators or owners or whoever perhaps are, for their own personal reasons, don't want to bring the issue, but I feel it is.
No, you have to. And people like you need to be a part of this conversation when putting in place legislation. See, you're the expert in this, just like our Border Patrol agents are the experts on border security, ICE agents, customs. And when making legislation on healthcare, we need people like you to be a part of the conversation. So you can guide us. What is exactly going on the ground? How are these policies affecting you? And what can we do to improve? Because we don't know it all. The problem is that we're not putting in people like you in this conversation when putting in place legislation.
And we would love to. And we have already organizations that would love the opportunity just for discussion purposes. Because theoretically...
But it has to go beyond the discussion, right? Something does need to happen immediately because our patients are waiting on us.
They're the voters.
And honestly, forget the politics and the vote and the party lines and the voter. It's just the right thing to do.
Because cancer doesn't care if you're Republican or Democrat.
Doesn't care.
They don't care.
No, it doesn't care.
But the family cares.
But the family. And I always tell people, a lot of people say, we're all replaceable. And we are, but not to our children.
Yeah.
Not to our loved ones. We're not replaceable to them.
No, we're not.
We're not replaceable.
And I see it every day, Mayra. Every single day.
No, I mean, I did home health. I did hospice. I've seen it firsthand, the needs that we have. But I also think that that's why it's so important for us to have this conversation and for people like you to be a part of legislation when putting in place. You do not need to be a member of Congress. Again, you do not need to. You could write a letter right now to me, addressed to me, and I'll make sure it gets to the Department of Health. So if you write to me a letter after this podcast with everything that you see that is wrong and in the healthcare and that you would like to see different, write a letter and I will make sure the Department of Health gets it.
Well, thank you for that opportunity. But the reason I raise the issue, it's because it's important because
you have to raise the issue.
Thousands of families.
You have an obligation to do it.
Exactly. Thousands of families that
we already have an obligation to do it. So after this podcast, get me that letter and I'll make sure that it gets to the right people.
May I give you another example of what's happening as well?
Absolutely.
Okay. So unfortunately here in South Texas in the Rio Grande Valley, I don't know the stats. I've had other guests that has real good stats on that. We have the highest population of Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, and it's always...
Diabetes.
And diabetes, the Mexican trifecta, what they call it. Cholesterol, blood pressure, and okay. So anyway, people, I'll give you the 3-second version. So our people are getting cancer and passing away a lot younger.
Yeah.
They're not making the threshold of 65, the system they've paid into to get Medicare. And there's even discussions of whatever party is, they might even raise it to 67 or 70.
No.
They lose their job, COBRA ends, and because I always have pro bonos and I get them and I help as many as I can. So there's a gap of people dying and need these services because they don't make the threshold that they paid into it, right?
Correct.
And then they lose their job, so they lose their coverage. So this is like another, and that causes, depression in the family because now they need the health care. So that's another big discussion, another rabbit hole. But just to make you aware of
No,
what's happening.
I love that you're bringing this up because these doctors that I met with a few days ago, wanting to bring this lab here to South Texas to do cancer research. It's not just cancer research, it's also Alzheimer's as
Mhm.
well. They're going to do research on diabetes as well. It's going to bring a lot of awareness in finding a solution to all this because it's affecting us tremendously in South Texas. We have a sickness problem in South Texas,
Oh, yes.
and it needs to be prioritized
And addressed.
and addressed. So yeah, I met with these amazing doctors a few days ago. Actually, it was on Sunday. Yeah, it was on Sunday.
That's awesome. That's
Yes,
great. Good job.
yes. These doctors are from Prime. They actually control most of the hospitals in South Texas, but also throughout the United States, over 50 hospitals.
Mhm.
And it's very important to me that they bring this lab here to South Texas and not Houston.
Yeah. I
So,
hope you're successful and bring it down. We need
yes,
it.
we're actually pretty much. Now it's just deciding which city.
Mhm.
I'm pushing for Harlingen.
That,
I'm pushing for Harlingen. I just want to bring some life into
or
Harlingen.
wherever you get it, I just hope you get it. We
Yes,
need it.
We need it in
Regardless,
South Texas. Now
yeah.
it's what city? I said Harlingen. I feel like Harlingen is the heart of South Texas, in the middle of Bronzeville, McAllen. I don't know. We need to do a lot in Harlingen. We need to do a lot in Harlingen. So I brought up Harlingen, highlighted Harlingen. Hopefully, I think so. But
Yeah.
that they're gonna do it in South Texas, yes.
Okay.
It's just finding a city, but it's a laboratory. I'm like, we can do it in Harlingen.
Yeah.
And they also great in hiring people from here as well. And I just thought Harlingen's perfect. You hire people from Bronzeville, it's in the middle. You hire people from McAllen, it's in the middle. Like, it's so we'll see. But it is very important for me, and a lot of these research is going to be for Alzheimer's, cancer, not just, and also cancer for children as well, because most cancer patients have to leave South Texas for a lot of the care because we do not have top care here in South Texas. We're also lacking doctors as well. Doctors don't want to stay here in South Texas.
Yeah, we have a big demand for them.
We have a big demand as well. I'm working on that issue as we speak in bringing doctors to South Texas. How can we incentivize doctors to stay here? Because what happens is that there's a lot of risks here in South Texas for doctors. There's a lot of
Yeah.
lawsuits here in South Texas. So
I never
insurances,
noticed.
so insurances are very high for doctors.
Yeah.
So they see that and they don't want to come to South Texas. Most of them, they have roots here in South Texas. So they stay.
Mhm.
A lot of them don't want to come and do their internships here. And I'm trying to get as many doctors to come and do internships here. And hopefully they fall in love with a Latina, or they fall in love with someone, Latino, if it's a women doctor,
Yeah.
and they stay here in South Texas. That's why I'm like, we can just have them here for a year and they'll stay
Yeah.
here. And guess what? It works. Most of them do stay here because they do settle here. But it's very hard to get doctors to come and do their internships here because there's a lot of lawsuits, and insurance is very high
Yeah.
here in South Texas. And so I'm working on that issue as well.
I think if people found better paying jobs, they wouldn't need to be suing so much because it's all connected. We're all connected somewhere.
We're all connected.
Yeah.
As
Better
as well.
education, better jobs. You don't have to be
Everything.
looking for handouts. You don't have to be looking for suing people and all that.
Mhm, mhm.
But I'm gonna do another shift here. I have because I have my own experience. I retired. Excuse me. I retired from the U.S. Border Patrol. I worked for them
Oh,
And
God bless you.
so thank you. And I also believe you had previously married to
Yes.
an agent.
Yes.
So thank him for himself
Absolutely.
for his service. But where I'm going with this is I have a unique combination because I'm very involved in business. I have a lot of friends that are in business, and not only in the healthcare field, but in construction, real estate development, what have you. But I also have a lot of experience because I love my brothers in green in immigration. And
Yes.
so, what in your political platform, what are your thoughts or ideas how you're going to challenge or implement any changes on the current U.S. immigration policy?
Well, look, I believe that we have not given the full authority to our Border Patrol agents. Well, under the Biden administration, they did not have the full authority to implement the current laws that we had because
It was a circus.
it was a circus. President Trump came in, and I mean, day and night, completely different. Our Border Patrol agents do feel a lot more support from this administration. Our Border Patrol agents feel that they can actually implement the law that they took an oath for. I have, uncles as well and cousins in Border Patrol as well that I've talked to, and they feel that they have more confidence in themselves going to work. And that itself is bringing a lot of people more into Border Patrol, wanting to join the Border Patrol. Because I saw a lot of depression in Border Patrol agents. We saw a suicide death rate increase amongst Border Patrol
large.
agents. I mean, I went to countless funerals
Mm-hmm.
during the Biden administration, all for suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when they don't have that support system from the top, that brings our men and women down tremendously because they're just there doing the job. They're just implementing the very laws that Congress passed. Yet you see members of Congress in the Democrat Party bash Border Patrol agents for what? For enforcing the laws that you passed in Congress? Why are you mad at our Border Patrol agents? So I believe that this administration is handling very well, doing the best that they can. I mean, it's only been a couple months since President Trump went into office, but I think we've done a tremendous improvement. I do think that we need to bring Border Patrol agents to the table when putting in place new laws that have to do with border security. I think our men and women need to be a part of this legislation. Why? Because they're the experts on border security. What is it that you need? A lot of them are against the wall, a lot of people, but you're not a Border Patrol agent. Have you asked a Border Patrol agent if they support a wall? And I've asked Border Patrol agents, and they said, yes, we do support a wall. And a lot of the everyday people are like, they're against it. But you're not doing the job. They are doing the job. And we asked our Border Patrol agents, do you support a wall? Yes. Many times it's a way to deter. And it gives our Border Patrol agents more time to get to the drug traffickers. These walls gives them more time. So for whatever reason that they want this wall, if that's what the majority of our Border Patrol agents want and need, you give them a wall. So a lot of people that are against the wall don't understand that we're also doing it for our Border Patrol agents because that's what they asked for. And they're the ones that are risking their life.
Yeah.
So I believe in giving our men and women whatever that they need to get the job done. And if they want a wall, so be it. We give them a wall. But I don't understand what the controversy is because the wall started under the Bush administration and Obama administration as well. The wall did not start under President Trump. President Trump just finished the wall in South Texas, but we've always had a wall here in South Texas. So I don't understand what the controversy is. But for me, it's not about me. It's about what does our Border Patrol agents need in making sure that they have all the equipment that they need, again, to get the job done.
But as a Republican, you should, I feel, pro-business. We need to generate the cash flow, generate tax bases to increase that, to give jobs and hire people. So it's a quandrum, and a challenge.
I don't agree with the lie detector. I don't believe that the lie detector, to get into Border Patrol, you got to go through a lie detector.
Why?
I think that I've known of a lot of people that haven't passed it, and Border Patrol has lost a lot of great opportunities to hire great people that I've known personally that haven't passed this lie detector.
Mhm.
I don't know if it needs to be updated. Something needs to be done because I have met easy 50 people or more.
Really, that much?
And then I
That
know
didn't pass.
that didn't pass. And on a personal level, I know a good 15 that I know who they are. These are good people
Wow.
that our Border Patrol agents, the Border Patrol missed an opportunity to hire. So
Yeah.
wasn't required before. I don't think it should be required. But if they don't agree with that, then let's improve it because we're missing great opportunities to hire great people. So
Yeah, when I got hired, my process, it took about a year and a half to get hired. And that was back in 96, 97, joined in
I
98.
think the process is too long
Yeah.
to
Well,
get
back
into.
then,
It's so-
my personal opinion, I was fine
Mhm.
with it if it took the
Yeah.
the protocol to get passed and to get accepted. But my interpretation, if you would allow me, on the wall, it started when I was an agent. I worked under the McAllen sector, which is now RGV sector. And the biggest tool that you could give an agent is just let him do his job.
Correct.
Just let him do his job. Back
Yeah.
then, DC would put policy, and we were not allowed to do our job and do immigration inspections or arrests past military highway, for example. So that's the biggest deterrence. If you would allow the agents to do their job
Correct.
anywhere, that you really wouldn't need a wall. So I have firsthand experience. I worked with the wall before it was there and after the wall was being constructed.
It's about the policies. It's about if the laws are implemented, walls, no walls, is needed. But our most Border Patrol agents that we've spoken with, that I've spoken with, they want a wall or they
Yeah.
support the wall, right? Maybe it's like the new generation, right? Because especially what they saw under the Biden administration,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they're traumatized after seeing so many people coming in. And so it's a way to deter, but also it gives them an opportunity, more time to get towards those that are crossing in drugs, right? Because now those crossing in the drugs have to find different routes. If there's a wall there, they have to find ways to get out of that wall. So I think it's mainly for drug trafficking, because those who cross illegally, we clearly saw that it didn't deter them from crossing. It's the loss. Because now they're not coming in. Why? Because the law is being implemented in a way that it wasn't being implemented under the Biden administration. And no new laws, by the way, have been put in place. It's the same laws that have always been there. The difference is President Trump is actually allowing our Border Patrol agents to
do their
enforce them
job.
and to do their job. Yes.
So where I was going with this, though, and I can go, I have so many other stories about that wall.
And we can definitely.
I can give you the 3-second version of that. We would say there was an inside joke in the patrol, especially in my station. There was a wall that cost X amount of $1 million. And they were really creative. They just chopped down 2 mesquite trees, put them up there, says, priceless. You ever saw the commercial? And that's all. And they still got the narcotics across. And we caught them. Took them a little while longer, but the biggest deterrence is just letting us do their job. But anyway, what I wanted to tell you, though, Mayra, or ask you rather. So we need some sort of middle ground here, because I have a perspective as a business person, and my friends have asked me to ask these questions.
Sure.
Because they're contractors and real estate agents and so forth. But I have the unique perspective because I bleed green, right? We have to do our job. We have to legalize immigration. It was a circus. I do not agree with what Biden did.
Correct.
However, in theory, right, theoretically, shouldn't happen. But perhaps a common ground where you legalize a system like the Bracero program, because whether they want to accept or understand, the economy is still hurting because there's not a big enough labor force to fulfill all the jobs that are here in the Rio Grande Valley. And basically in the industry, we are the largest labor force, legal or illegal, right? But if we found a correct way to vet them, I'm not talking, and yeah, let's get rid of the hell of all the criminal aliens, of course, right? But if you did it in a proper way, because there's still all these jobs in practicum, cost of operations have risen because you cannot find qualified contractors to do the roofing, the cement work, the surveying, all this other work, right? So it's a quandrum. What do you do? You know, the economy is suffering here in your future, perhaps your district,
Right.
but we need to enforce the immigration law. So what do you do, and how do you propose to solve this?
Well, look, I believe in legal immigration, right? And improving the legal process. There's thousands and I will say millions of people waiting in line as we speak for an opportunity to come here to the United States and work. I believe in prioritizing those people that are already in line and not incentivizing those who did not get in line. So if we want to fill in these jobs, do it with the people that are in line right now. So improve the legal process because it's outdated. It takes years. Too long. So improve the legal process because that is the root of the problem. You know, we want to incentivize people from coming here. Like, do not incentivize illegal immigration. Incentivize legal immigration. How would it feel that you're waiting in line, that you've been waiting for years in line, right? You're in Mexico. You've been waiting for years to come here to the United States. And then those that came under the Biden administration get status. I mean, wouldn't you be pissed off?
Oh, yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to incentivize those people that just cross illegally under the Biden administration and not focus on the people that are actually in line as we speak right now that have been waiting for a long time to come here to the United States. We have people in Nuevo León, in Tamaulipas, in many states in Latin America that have gone through the process waiting to come here and do temporary work here in the United States. Many people just want to come here, work for a few months and go back. That's great. But let's incentivize those people that are in line right now that have already done all the paperwork and
modernize it.
Yeah, and modernize it, but not incentivize people that cross illegally into our country.
Well, I can agree with that. Yeah.
I immigrated to this country. I 100%, support immigration, but it has to be done the right way. And let's focus on the people that are in line right now. And I'm talking about millions of people. But if you cannot hire people, I believe I'm in America first. So we want to hire people from here first. We want to fill in those jobs. But a lot of people, of course, in many industries cannot find these people. They've already tried finding people. Now, that's different. That's where these people that have been waiting in line in Mexico, that have done all the process, that's where they come in.
Yeah.
Because you've already, tried getting the employees here for months and you're not able to. Okay, that's where these people come in. But it has to be the people that are waiting in line.
Yeah.
It has to be the people that have done it the right way.
And I totally agree with you, Mayra. And I totally agree with your statement. I'm an American. And so all these other people, we're Americans. What's the American dream? We want a house, right? So my buddies are contractors and the developers.
People unemployed right now.
Yeah. Well, check this out, Mayra. So they want to give them that American dream, right? And they give them a bid, before all this happened, $200,000 home, right? All this starts happening. So the labor force disappears. And I agree. Hey, you got to get deported. You weren't here legally, but you can't just snap your fingers and say, well, you know what? Now these people are Americans. By the time you train them, now that $200,000 home is going to cost $350,000. They have to go back to the bank and say, maybe not even getting approved. They can't afford it. So all this, there's a ripple effect.
There is, but I'll say this. Most people that have gotten, by the way, these are orders of deportation given under the Biden administration, by the way. These people were given an order of deportation under the Biden administration. President Trump administration is just implementing the deportations orders given by the Biden administration. Tom Homan was appointed by Obama. Tom Homan was the director of ICE under the Obama administration. Tom Homan is now doing all these deportation under the Trump administration. It's the same man.
No.
Why wasn't it? It wasn't bad under the Obama administration.
No,
But he's bad now under the Trump administration. Look, President Trump right now is doing the best that he can. None of this would be happening if Biden wouldn't have done what he did.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm not I'm not pointing fingers.
No,
Mayra.
not you.
What I'm saying is we're here right now. Right now. So we need solutions. So I'm asking you, have you considered in your political platform that you're going to run, do you have perhaps any thoughts on solutions to get us out of the situation? Because right now, cost of operation, cost of construction, it's going up. And I'm glad immigration has been controlled, right? Because I'm a former agent. Que bueno. But now, it overcorrected, and to facilitate, to bring in the workforce, it's not happening. So what are your proposals?
I support you bringing, if we're not able to find that workforce here in the United States, we have millions of people unemployed. So we need to prioritize those people that are unemployed in America. We need to prioritize the American people. But if we're not able to bring that workforce, we do it the legal way.
My thoughts on that, Mayra, these are my thoughts, is if it could happen, it would have happened. It's not happening. All the unemployed people, because the job openings are open. And by the time, let's say you found one candidate, let's say roofing.
Right.
So the roofer says, hey, I want to try it. They don't want to be out there in the hot sun getting paid, $15, whatever dollars, right?
Right.
Let's say you did find that candidate. It takes months, if not years, to teach that trade, to do it at an acceptable level, to get that grade of performance out of those people. So it's like, my friend, theoretically, it sounds great, but in practicum, it's not working. So these are some challenges that I would ask you to perhaps to consider when you're considering your political platform to address these issues, because we are your future voters. That here, there's a lot of development, a lot of construction, a lot of homes for the American dreams, right?
Absolutely.
And to promote all this. So how are you going to think about it, and how to address these issues?
No, I understand the concerns, but it has to be legal, right? We have to.
Oh, of course.
It has to be
By
legal,
all means.
because when you have people with no status working here in the United States, I've seen it firsthand how they're taking advantage. The Democrat Party pushes for those with no status working here in the United States, because of cheap labor. I firsthand saw it back in Georgia. We went to go work on a summer in Georgia in the onions fields. And I saw how we were treated differently from other people. And I remember saying, why do they get treated like that? And why do we not get treated like this? Was in the onion fields in Georgia. By the way, we were there only for a few days. It was tough work. We ended up working at a manufacturer, but the work at the field, onions, I have so much respect for those people. I was like 15 years old, and it marked me. It marked me. But I saw how those with no status were being treated. They were not treated very well as those that did have status. So that is why I will not promote any workforce to have people with no status, because it creates cheap labor, but also it's modern day slavery. They're taking in many ways, they're taking advantage.
Exploitation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because
they have no status and they have to put up with it. Where else they're gonna go?
Yeah.
So I will not promote any work industry to have people with no status. We have to promote legal immigration. We have to promote those who come here to this country to work, do temporary jobs, but with status. But these companies need to create a way where they can have trainings. They have to come up with a way and not rely on those with no status to come and do this job. They have to start thinking differently. These builders and all these builders are going to have to start thinking differently, because they cannot rely on people getting this job that have no status. And that cheap labor, that's it ends. Because I know that they were paying those people a lot less than someone with status.
Perhaps, you made up another statement that we should consider, and it's gone away because a lot of the jobs now are IT, software, techie jobs, and those are great, right? But I think to meet these demands, I think we don't have enough plumbers, carpenters, electricians. So the trade schools and the high schools and magnet schools should take another second look, and perhaps the public servants should look into
these
that.
builders need to go into these schools as well and see the type of trainings that these trade schools are doing and hiring people from these trade schools. So if you're
somebody's got to point them in the right direction.
Correct. These builders need to start getting more involved in these trade schools and going to talk to these trade schools and hiring these people right when they graduate to come and work for them. Because these trade schools have all these things that you mentioned, and they graduate and they have a difficult finding jobs. These builders need to be in these trade schools and hiring these newly graduated students. And there's no justification for hiring someone with no status. I think a lot of them have gotten used to paying them less. Don't want to pay more. And you got to pay up.
It's a challenge for sure.
It is a challenge. It is, but we cannot continue doing it this way. We can't. We're a country of law and order. Every country has immigration laws. Mexico does as well. It doesn't matter whose president is. I also think it's being, they're trying to instill fear into people. But deportations have always existed. Doesn't matter who the president is. Obama deported more immigrants than Trump. Clinton deported 10 million. I don't remember the outrage. There's a lot of good people in this country with no status. Just want to come here, work hard, and accomplish the American dream.
Everybody loved Slick Willie.
I get that. I get that. But we got to put our emotions aside.
Yeah.
I got to put my emotions aside and look at the law.
Yeah.
Growing up, I remember there was this child. I think President Clinton was the president. Do you remember this Cuban little boy?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember his name?
Elon.
Do you remember?
Elon. Yeah, it was, you know who it was that went in there and got him out?
Wasn't it?
In Cuba? In Miami?
In Miami.
Yeah.
Who was it?
U.S. Border Patrol.
U.S. Border Patrol.
It was a special tactical team.
What did they do? What did they do to this little boy?
They went and got him out.
And where did they send him?
I think Janet Reno was the attorney general at the time.
They sent him back.
Yeah.
That was under a Democrat. I mean, I remember watching those scenes growing up and just being traumatized.
I wonder if we can look up what year that was. But I remember.
Clinton.
No, I know, but the year. What years would those have been?
I remember it was all over TV.
Yeah.
It was all over TV.
Yeah. My hat's off to that team, the BORTAC team.
They did the best that they could.
Yeah.
And they were just doing their job. Difficult job. This was a little boy.
Well, that's the thing with being a U.S. Border Patrol. You're hated when you do your job, and you're hated when you don't do your job. So you're hated either way. So my hat's off to, the U.S.
You might as well get hated for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And for doing your job.
But it's unfortunate when you don't have the support from D.C.
Correct.
And you're being hated.
And now it's different. Now they do have the support from D.C. They do have the support from their president. And that's the big difference. But yes, I remember this little boy. So they had to put their emotions aside. People need to put their emotions aside and start thinking logically. We cannot vote people into place based on emotion. And we cannot put in place laws based on emotion. We got to put our emotions aside and think logically what is best for our country. And that's just the way I find I cannot get emotional. A lot of these stories that I see are very heartbreaking. But at the end of the day, we got to put in place laws. And I want to prioritize the people of South Texas. I'm not putting no one else first that isn't the people of South Texas. I'm going to take care of us first. And when we're where we need to be economically, and we have all those good paying jobs here in South Texas, okay, then we can move forward into talking about others' needs. But I cannot prioritize others' needs when the people of Texas District 34, Texas 15, Texas 28 is in poverty, when we do not have good paying jobs. So no, I'm not going to prioritize other people that did not elect me to be in the position that I'm in. So my first priority is South Texas, the people of here, the American people, because we're Americans too. And so it's time that they see us as Americans.
Yeah, I have another question for you because I was raised by a single mom. And you don't have to answer this, you know, but I'm just curious, how challenging was it for you being, you know, as, you know, Mexican American, female, to be successful where you're at? What were your personal challenges? You know, because, you know, you kind of broke the mold, as you already know.
Right.
So I know that was a challenge, but I want to know your perspective in your own words of how it was, because, you know, culturally here in the Rio Grande
world.
Yeah, it's el machismo, what we call
El
it.
machismo.
So
Yes.
how did you, Mayra, deal with that?
I'm still dealing with it, to be honest
So
with
tell
you.
me about it.
Many times I'm told, how are you going to be a mother and a congresswoman at the same time? Well, the same way a congressman can be a congressman and a father at the same time. I'm told many times you should take care of your family and not run from. Like, who said I wasn't? Everything I do is always in the thinking of the well-being of also my kids as well, because I want them to grow up in a country where they have opportunities, the same opportunities that I grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't I want that? This country's done so much for me that I want my children, our children, to have the same opportunities. But I do see a lot of pushback from our own, you know, here in South Texas, because I'm a woman.
So how do you deal with it, Mayra, up here? Do you think about it, or you just do it?
Ay, no sé cómo decirlo en inglés, pero
No, pues dilo en español.
me vale. Me vale. Simplemente voy a hacer
Just do it.
lo que mi instinto me dice que haga. Todo lo que hago, lo hago en oración. Everything I do it in prayer. And I'm just gonna go with my gut feeling. Y yo sé que este es mi llamado. This is my calling. I don't understand a lot of it. No entiendo muchas cosas, pero yo sé que en el futuro las voy a entender. Don't understand a lot of things now, but I know in the future I'll understand them. But I can't worry about a few critiques, because it's just a few. They're very loud, but it's a few. The majority of the people support me. And they're there for me. So I got to focus on the people that support me and are there for me, and not a handful that don't. And I think a lot of people need to do that. I think sometimes we're focused on a few people that criticize us. Look, you were told by one person that this podcast wasn't possible, that you doing this podcast.
Oh, that's the worst thing you can do to me. Well, not the worst, perhaps the best thing you can
imagine that one person, but you've been told by so many people that you can do it. So you can't focus on that one person. We got to focus on the majority. And the majority of the people support me, guide me, are there for me. And most importantly, God is with me, by my side. I just got to focus on that.
So that's what makes a winner. So what do you think makes a winner in your interpretation?
God. You can't do nothing without him.
Amen.
You can't do nothing without God. And because at the end of the day, this is temporary. I will be here today, maybe tomorrow, hopefully for many years. But I see my eternity with God. So I'm more focused on that. Okay, how can I make sure, my retirement in heaven is good? Because that's really my retirement. I'm going to retire in heaven. I'm not really going to retire here.
Yeah.
And so
Why not? This is a
I'm,
beautiful place.
I'm doing this once. I'm not coming back, guys. Thank God we only do this once. But I'm ready when when He calls me. But God makes winners. But we have to stay in prayer every day. We gotta
Stay humble.
and stay humble, and we gotta pray when things are good too, not just when things are bad.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even when things are difficult, pray. Even when you feel like you don't even feel like praying, just pray. And when when it's like extremely difficult for you to even pray, just call on Him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't because of my faith. I would have gone crazy already in this world of politics. So
So what do
strengthen your faith for
Yeah.
sure.
So what does Myra do on your time off to keep sane? Or like, what's the side of Myra nobody knows? Like, I don't know, like what do you listen to? Music or TV show or
Grupo
do you
Frontera.
bicycle?
I love Grupo Frontera, Signo, Intocable. I do not like Bobby Pulido's politics, but I like his music. Let's see.
So you listen to Bobby Pulido?
You
Or
know,
his music?
his music, I do. Even though he did an ad against me, I'm like, ugh. He did this ad against me, supporting my opponent. And I was like, I see. And look at him now. I do not support his politics, but I do like his music. I'm a huge Tejano, fan.
That caused a big, not that topic, but Grupo Frontera, and I had Lucky Joe, one of my other.
I love their music.
Yeah.
South Texas has such amazing musicians.
Well, the
mean,
big debate.
I love
What's
it.
your interpretation? What's Tejano? What was the question, Roland? Was it?
Grupo Frontera is not Tejano.
Yeah, well, yeah. So we went like viral, super viral. So do you consider Frontera Tejano, Norteño?
Bobby
What are
Pulido
they?
is Tejano.
Okay, but Grupo Frontera?
No, they're not Tejano.
Well, I mean, everybody's got their opinion, but that one question, Myra, went crazy.
It's
bro.
more
We
like,
had-
isn't it like Norteño?
I think I'm gonna leave it up to the people. It's it's their own opinion, but people.
I mean, if
went
it is,
crazy.
if it's considered Tejano, I'm all for it. I want to keep Tejano music alive.
Yeah.
Because I feel that after Selena died, the Tejano music industry like died with her.
Yeah.
Jennifer Peña is coming. Recently came back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Jennifer Peña. I think she's amazing mom too. She has like 6 kids. I'm like,
Really?
if Jennifer
I've
Peña
never
can
met
do
her,
it with
but-
6 kids, I can do it. She's amazing. I love her music. I grew up with her music as well. But yeah, anything that we can do to support the Tejano music industry, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned Bobby, because I love his music. I just don't like his politics.
No, I understand.
But
But at the end of the day, we're all Americans. We're all from the road.
what I love about music is it brings us together regardless of the politics.
Yes.
That's what music does. And that's what I love about the music of South Texas, that, no matter if you're Republican or Democrat, music can bring us together. So more music. We need more music in South Texas.
I have one last question,
Yes.
because the last guest that we had, and we're going to allow you to do the same, is I'm going to let you go first. Is there any last things you would like for our followers and viewers? Because we have a lot of viewers, more than followers, but we're growing like 100 a day. But
I love that.
yeah. So is there anything, you have the platform, anything you want to tell the future voters out there? Please use the platform. Anything you want to share?
To put themselves first. We always put ourselves, in the back burner. It's time that we put ourselves first, that we put our children, that we put our families first, and our well-being. We're taught to always put others first, but if we're not good, if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of others? So we're so caught up in helping everyone else but ourselves. So put yourself first. And when electing people, make sure that those people are going to put you first. The people that elected them to be in that position. So that's why I'm all about America first. But when I say America first, that's the RGV first. That's the 956 first. So a lot of people think America first is somewhere else. Wait a minute. What do you mean somewhere else? When I say America first, that's the 956 first. That's the RGV first. That's putting, Bronzeville first. That's putting San Benito first. I'm from San Benito. Don't judge me. And that's putting Harlingen first. That's putting La Feria, Los Fresnos, South Padre Island first. That's putting Corpus Christi first. Kingsville, McAllen, Westlaco, Far, San Juan. That's putting us first. So when you hear America first, include yourself. Don't take it as an offensive. Oh, mira, aquí se creen americanos. ¿Cómo que se creen americanos? Somos americanos. We don't, what do you mean? I think? No, I don't just think we're Americans. We are Americans. So when we hear the word America first, that's including you, buddy. That's you. You're included in the America first. You're not outside America first. You're in America first. So when I say America first, I'm talking about you. So just remember that. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So one of my last guests, we're gonna offer you the same
Okay.
same thing, same courtesy. The question he had for any future public servant that would come in, this was his question or her question. I'm not gonna say who it was, and we're gonna do the same thing for you.
Okay.
Maybe you all as you view. But anyway, if your party was trying to persuade you to vote something that didn't interest or was not in line with your voters for your district, what are you going to do?
My loyalty is not with a political party. My loyalty is with no political party. My loyalty is with God, with my family, and the people of this country. Every vote that I have made before and that I will make in the future when I get back into Congress is putting the well-being of the people of Texas 34. I will never, never, ever, ever vote against the best interest of the people that elected me to be in that position. It's just not in me. I can't be bought. I can't be bought.
Okay.
My sleep is very important.
Okay, well, you heard it first.
Yes.
So we're going to give you the same courtesy, Mayra. Can you think of whenever I have another public servant or perhaps a potential public servant that's running, because we have artists, we have comedians and military, law enforcement. Anyway, what question do you want to leave for the next person here? And I'll give you a minute to think about it.
Oh, I don't need a minute. I know
Okay,
exactly.
all right.
Are you willing to put God aside for your political ambitions?
Okay, we're going to ask that person, that future guest, that. But it has to be somebody running for a public service.
Or
service.
what
if it's not?
What if it's not? Are you willing to put God aside for your career, to advance in your career? Are you willing to put your faith aside? Because a lot of people will put God aside and say, God does not belong in politics to me. And that's why we're in the mess that we're in, because we've put God aside. I think God belongs everywhere. He created the universe. So he belongs in education, healthcare. He belongs in politics. He belongs in Congress. I mean, in God we trust. It's there in our chamber. So I'm not willing to put God aside for no political power, for no political party, for no political legislation. I'm just not. He's in the front of everything that I do. So my question to whoever comes is: are you willing to put God aside, or are you going to put God first?
Excellent question. We'll make sure we'll ask them.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much for
Thank
joining us
you.
together. You were a great
you.
guest. You're always welcome here at Delta Oaks Ranch.
I'll be back.
And thank you again.
Thank you.